Marco.
Thumbs up the team.
Yes. I hear you.
Billions and billions.
Ni hao, everyone.
Ni hao.
We're back. I hear you. I hear your calls. I hear your cries. Thank you. Please be seated. Be seated. I hear your cries. I hear you say to me, not in the chat, but just through the ether, I hear your thoughts because of the powers that have been instilled in me through just being an awesome cult leader. I hear you saying, is that the navy blue anti-pyramid shirt from alwaysmarcomerch.com that he's wearing? And yes, it is. Yes, it is. And I hear your follow-up thought, which is, on a recent stream, did Marco make a custom discount code for the goons who watch the stream, who are actually loyal goons, so that they could get 20% off their entire order if they too wanted to rock one of the anti-pyramid shirts in a variety of colors? The answer to that also is yes, he did that. What?
Do you like me?
And I know your follow-up question is, oh, Marco, I wasn't there, so can you just remind me the code just so I don't have to go do the legwork to find it out? And the code is GOONS. And if you use the code GOONS at alwaysmarcomerch.com, you will get 20% off your entire order. Now, let me be clear. After that 20% gets sliced off the top, my profit margins are virtually non-existent. But still, any money that comes this way, you know it's going towards supporting the fight against evil, against the MLM cartel. You know, moving on from this shameless plug, I just finished listening to the book 1984. I finished listening to it not yesterday, but the day before. Wow, man, what a fucking trip. No spoilers, because I highly recommend this book. But it was not, I mean, for a book that was written in the 50s, I was actually shocked at how it ended. It was not like a traditional, like the way you would expect a thing to go, where it's like, oh, some shit is happening, and then there's going to be a big twist and whatever. No, it was sort of a tragedy. I don't know what the book is actually classified as, but yeah, very, very realistic in a spooky way. And obviously not as spooky as the fact that there's only 23 likes on the stream. Oh, wrong button.
Thumbs up the team.
That's the one. So make sure you thumbs up the ting. And what's up, everybody? All the goons in here. D Green, ZF, Shifter, Jared, respond to my Instagram DM. Legend Gaming, Rekka K, Mountain, Dylan Honey, Jared again, forgot the link. Woo! Jimmy, Shifter again, Traveling Lunatic, smoking some salmon. Nice. Appreciate you, Traveling Lunatic. Jimmy, Shadow, Daniel, Mythic, Jelly Snack, Michael, we love to see it. In the book 1984, I won't spoil it, but I will give you some context. There is an evil regime that controls all of modern society. Sorry, I'm looking at myself in the monitor and I see a little fleck of white schmutz and I'm like, we're not doing that. And the limitation and the control and the skewing of information and language is how this evil government party called INGSOC, English Socialist, takes over essentially the world, or at least the modern world, I think the two continents that make up, it's like all of North America and South America, and also like the northern regions, whatever the fuck that is. So it's all controlled through the limitation and the use of language. And there's so many moments in the book where I was like, oh yeah, I've seen MLMs do this same thing when they talk about this. I've seen MLMs do the same thing when they talk about this. And one of the reasons 1984 is such a crazy book is because the fantasy of it, of like billions of people, like the entire population essentially of the world, being under this sort of mind control spell where up is down and down is up, and they use, double think, which is the thought version of double speak, where you're using words that are actually lies dressed up as the truth, or you're passing off dishonesty as though it is honest. And I've talked about this before, the idea of double speak and how MLMs use it, and how an example of double speak is like the government saying we don't use torture, but we use enhanced interrogation. It's just a fancier way of, it acts as though it's being truthful in its delivery, but it's anything but that. It's designed to be deceptive. And in 1984, they have double think, which is where you do the same with your thoughts. You hold these two opposing thoughts at the same time. And they have the term black-white, which, means holding two opposing beliefs. Is it black? Is it white? The sky could be red. How many fingers am I holding up? 5? Maybe if I say 5, there's 5. And I was like thinking about how this is actually not that far off. This is not that far off from actual reality, because in actual reality in our life, there are millions, not billions, but millions of people every single year who are under this mind control spell, where they are thinking that up is down and black is white, and sales mean purchases and purchases mean sales. And Robert talks about this in Ponzinomics. You can also get that in the description. Wow. Wow, Thomas. I didn't update the dono goal from the Drake break, but I might have to do a little Drake break for y'all. Thank you, Thomas. Really appreciate that, man. Thank you so much. Let me update this. Let me just make it generalized dono goal. Thank you for that, Thomas. Really appreciate you guys who donate. The direct donations obviously are the most helpful. Felix Argyle, thank you. Your voice makes me cream. So dumb. Thank you. Oh, and a new merch order. Hold on. The bags are flowing in. Michael, thank you, Michael, buying the anti-pyramid tee in gray. That's going to be so sexy. We love to see it. Thank you, Michael. Appreciate you so much. And I think there's another one today. No, that was it. Thank you so much. No spoiler alert for 1984. It came out long ago enough. Thumbs up the ting. The spoiler alert. There's going to be as many people who have clicked thumbs up on the ting as there are people who have
big ting, white boy, summer ting.
Wrong button.
Thumbs up the ting.
As there have been people who are watching, whatever. I sent you a message about debating you on Instagram. Says Vince Goodrum. Vince, what's your Instagram username? I didn't see that. I'm the best. Literally, I never post that I'm selling shit. And I posted that I'm selling this microphone that I have on Instagram a short while ago. And somebody's already buying it. Hello. Hello. We love to see it. I bought a microphone 2 years ago that I literally used one time, and it's still in the original box. Also, did Matthew Perry actually fucking die? Friends star Matthew Perry dead at 54 after a parent. Nah, bro, not like this. Not like this on my stream. Not now. Me not being able to name one thing that Matthew Perry was in other than Friends, which I never even watched, but also at the same time being stunned by it. Friends star Matthew Perry dead after drowning at his own house. What the fuck? Dead ass? Damn. City News Toronto. Why would they be posting it? People Magazine, TMZ. Damn, that's about as official as it gets. That, man, rest in peace, Matthew Perry, dude. That sucks. I hate hearing about people dying. Even though I wasn't a fan, that sucks. I hate hearing about people dying. That crushes me, man. And I realize that as I get older, like I'm 27 now, the likelihood of there being like several more people in my life where I'm like, I discover them and then I become a big fan is going to become less and less as I get older. And the people who I am a big fan of are going to die. And that's just going to happen more frequently. Like there's, you know what I mean? That fucking sucks. I can't believe that. Damn. Fucked up my whole shit. And I literally just saw that by accident as I opened Instagram. Why did I open Instagram? I opened Instagram so that I could make a story post saying that I'm live, for fuck's sake. Damn, man. R.I.P. Matthew Perry, for real. LOL, we're on this stream is such a roller coaster. Me talking about 1984 and then talking about the merch and then talking about Matthew Perry. The chapter markers have no idea what's coming for them. Wow. Sorry, give me a second, y'all. I'm not. You think I'm making a tribute post to Matthew Perry, but I'm actually just making an Instagram story. RIP Matthew Perry, y'all. Damn. Okay, there, we're done. Craziness. What up, Silica Valley? What up, y'all? Thumbs up the ting. Thanks for being here. We got it. We're going to get it. Matthew Perry passed away. We're sorry to hear that. But, damn. Oh, yeah, Vince Goodrum. What is your Instagram? You said you wanted to debate. You said you DM'd me. I didn't see it. Then again, do I really even be checking? So, yes, back to the main point. There are millions of folks every single year who are caught up in the brainwashing of multi-level marketing. And a great example of this, the most surface level example that we can perceive of doublespeak, thank you, by the way, for the Dono Felix Argyle, is IBO, independent business owner. If you really break that down, you realize every part of it is a complete falsehood. You're not independent because when you join an MLM company, you're completely dependent on them for everything. The back office that tracks your sales analytics and whatever else. Michael M., thank you so much, bro. You're dependent on them for the product you sell. You're not in control of the pricing of it. So this plays into the owner part of it. You don't own it. You're a 1099 contractor, sort of the same as I think that's the same legal classification as a pizza delivery driver. And you don't get to choose what products you sell. You don't get to choose the pricing. You're not allowed to run ads on social media. You're not allowed to market. In some cases, well, in every case that I've seen, you're instructed explicitly to not even say the name of the company you're with until you've already hooked people with the promise of, working from home, becoming a boss babe, etc., etc. So you're not independent. You're not the owner. And the idea that it is a business is a falsity as well, because in no business model where 99% of people lose money would any sane person look at that and go, yeah, that's a business model. Businesses are designed to generate profit. And if you, the business owner, have a guarantee to be one of the 99% minimum crop of people in a company who are going to lose money that year, well, that's not a business. That's a scam. And even the 1% or less than 1% of people who are earning money, even then you couldn't say it's a business because they're generating profit, but their profits are the losses of people who thought they were getting something other than what they actually got. So even for them, it's not a business. So this term, independent business owner, is a nice, fancy, sugar-coated way of dressing up what is really an unpaid, there's no hourly, there's no salary, there's no benefits, there's no healthcare, there's nothing. It's literally you losing your money. And if it wasn't brainwashing and if it wasn't a cult, what other way could you describe this system where people are going hard promoting it on social media and fighting tooth and nail in the comments of my YouTube videos, Instagram, DMing me, just fighting for it when they're losing money month after month? If that's not absolute, at the minimum, it's delusion. At the highest end, it's just cult brainwashing, and that's exactly what it is. And in 1984, there's a part where Winston Smith, the main character, is being tortured for thought crime, and his thought crimes are that he chose to think freely. He kept a diary, and he insists on the right to be able to believe that 2 + 2 makes 4. And he's being tortured by the villain in the story, and the villain is telling him, what if I told you 2 + 2 is 5? And I'm holding up 5 fingers right now. how many would you see if I held this up? And I said, I'm holding up 5 fingers. He said, well, how can I see something other than what my eyes are showing me? Like, how can I see 5? It's just a fact that 2 + 2 is 4. It's just a fact that the sky is blue. How can I see red when it's blue? And the villain is trying to explain to him, it's a matter of training your mind. This is another thing MLMs do. They want you to train your brain. Tapes. One of the people we're going to get into today, Zig Ziglar, a massively famous motivational speaker, sort of like a Bob Proctor type, where it's like just endless motivation and training when you're not really learning anything, just substanceless fluff. And eventually, you can see that 2 and 2 is 5. And MLM distributors, year after year, losing money, and staying in it, still justifying it, and still calling it the greatest income opportunity in the world. What else could how else could you describe it? As just complete clown world, delusional, brainwashing madness. So let's check it out. Thank you, by the way, you guys, for being here. Only half of you, not even half of you, have clicked like on the stream, and it's free to do. So please do that. Thank you, Bam. And really, again, thank you for the support. That big dono was amazing. I have a big update that I'll hopefully be able to talk about soon with one of my legal issues that's moving forward. So believe me when I tell you that at this time, any support, any memberships gifted, any donations, any Patreon stuff, any merch sales, like, it really means a lot. So thank you guys, and it's needed now. So let's continue on here. Josh Ortiz, go ahead and keep spamming the chat, not even waiting to listen to my explanation or my breakdown. So literally go fuck yourself, Vince says, an IBO is pretty much a franchise. No, it's not. I actually have an entire interview with a franchise lawyer on my channel, Doug Brooks, who is also the class action, the prosecutor in the class action case against Herbalife, which was documented in the documentary Betting on Zero. It's called Lawyer Debunks Multi-Level Marketing. It's on my channel. Came out 5 months ago. You can see it right there. Go watch that if you want to learn that being an IBO in an MLM is not at all like a franchise owner. And it's not true that we couldn't advertise or use the company name. Okay, great. Sounds great. All right. Yeah, Glenn in the chat, MLM is fraud. What up, Glenn? He says, the greatest opportunity in the world. They all say that. Yep, every MLM I've ever seen says that their compensation plan is the best. I miss when Marco replied to every Instagram DM. I still reply to you, legend, if you would ever DM me. Okay. What else was I going to say? Anyways, immediately after I finished listening to 1984, the audiobook, I started reading the book called Doublespeak by, I forget the name of the author. William Lutz. I'm the best. William Lutz. Shout out William Lutz. And the very beginning of Doublespeak references 1984 and George Orwell's writings. So I think it's a perfect 1-2 that I'm reading, that I listened to 1984 and now I'm reading Doublespeak, because listening to 1984 helped contextualize the references and helped me know what William Lutz is talking about in Doublespeak. And it really, really interesting stuff. Like, he goes through the Doublespeak. I'm still in only like chapter 2, but already he's gone through so many different areas of everyday life, like the medical field, food industry, airlines, how all of them use Doublespeak. And the food one is particularly concerning because he talks about something that MLMs also do, the Doublespeak that they use when referring to their products: natural, toxin, words that mean nothing, but they, stimulate something in people. When you think of the word natural, when I think of the word natural, I think it came from nature. It's from nature. It can grow in the ground, or, it's a biological result of two creatures mating and reproducing, or something like that, a seed going into the ground, a chicken hatching an egg. That's what I think of, a tree growing its roots. That's what I think of when I think natural. And so William Lutz says that in the beginning of the book, there's a way to figure out whether what you're listening to is doublespeak or not. Because in some cases, it could just be a euphemism or jargon that is not actually harmful or meant to deceive. And the example he gives, which was also the example I thought of as I was reading this, was when someone says, for example, I'm sorry that your grandpa passed away, as opposed to saying, I'm sorry he died. It's a bit less harsh, but no one is being misled when you say, I'm sorry that he passed away. It's a more delicate way of saying it that also signals to the other person that you are empathetic and care about their feelings in the matter. It's a more polite way, or he moved on, or he passed on, or he's gone home. Any variation of this wouldn't be considered doublespeak when you look at the context of who is saying it to who and for what reason, for what outcome. Then you think of a company, a food company, putting the label sugar-free on their packaging, when actually the qualifications for sugar-free just means that you haven't added sucrose, like table sugar, but there could still be every other kind of sugar or sweetener in it with just as many calories as sucrose, but people buy it thinking it's healthier. Or the word diet, which they have their own definition for that. The word diet means that it has a certain percentage less calories than the original, but the original might have a huge amount of calories. You think about Coca-Cola, Diet Coke. How much healthier is Diet Coke than Coke? There's countless examples of this, and really good book. I recommend that book, Doublespeak, as well. And I also noticed a cool Easter egg. I was doing some research about the movie 1984, the movie adaptation of the book, and I saw that the protagonist is played by John Hurt, who's like the guy that's rebelling against Big Brother. And I was like, oh, that's cool, because in V for Vendetta, which is one of my favorite movies, John Hurt plays Big Brother, or the equivalent. He's the evil man on the screen. But earlier in his career, he played the guy rebelling against the guy on the screen. I thought that was a cool little tip of the hat to 1984. And I never knew that as a kid, because I never read 1984, but I had seen V for Vendetta. And it reminds me of, the movie Joker, where Robert De Niro is playing like the talk show host who Joker looks up to. Like 30, 40 years ago, there was a movie called The Comedian. I think it's called The Comedian, where Robert De Niro is the young comedian trying to get approval from the talk show host who he looks up to. I thought that was a cool little switcheroo too. But anyways, highly recommend 1984. Highly recommend Doublespeak so far. Yeah. Where the fuck is my water bottle? LOL, I filled it up and then left it over there. The hell? Dude, me and this water bottle are always getting lost from each other. That's for sure. Thumbs up the ting. Yes, the king of comedy. I'm sorry, not the comedian. The king of comedy. Spec says, I miss when Legend Gaming donated. Seriously, I do too. Glenn says, real franchises like McDonald's and Pizza Hut do not need to prospect or sell the dream.
God did.
Exactly. Wow.
Ordered shirts from Always Marco merch last Saturday and they came in today. I get a bag and Marco gets a bag.
Thank you so much, bro. Wow. That's amazing. That's amazing. Thank you, bro. Scott Johnson in the chat, what up? Michael, you might have to turn on your membership gifting availability in your settings to receive memberships. Thank you so much for the dono. That was amazing. Was it the same person again? No, before it was Thomas. This time it's Papa. Two different people. Thank you so much, Papa. Really appreciate you, dog. Thank you. Okay, let's go back. Where's the stream? Shifter Art. Membership only works on desktop. I thought it worked on the phone. Damn. Non-bread. Oh, you mean bread? I don't think that's an example of doublespeak. I get you're joking, but I actually don't think that's an example of doublespeak. I think that's just like trying to appeal to white people who don't know. Or yeah, chai tea is just chai, just means tea. TT. V for Vendetta watch party in Discord on the 5th. Ooh, crazy. I have it on Blu-ray. I got to give away a bunch of Blu-rays, man. I haven't had a device that could play a Blu-ray disc in like 5 years. At this point, I have to just like accept. I have to just accept it. I'm not going to watch them. Dude, the past 2 apartments I've lived in, I've moved and carried from one place to the next a bunch of shit I didn't ever use. Like books, comic books from when I was a teenager, or CDs, or whatever. Blu-rays. Nonsense. What up, Heather C? What up, Faye Valentine? What's up? I saw your Halloween costume. Very well done. That's takes a lot of creativity, and I can tell you put a lot of effort into that. So really good job. Shout out to you, Mars. I think it was Meeks or Trey who discovered that any account older than... Oh, you know what it is? I think it's accounts that are like... If you're like a brand account on YouTube, it doesn't work. So yeah, please check out either... The audiobook for 1984 also... Sometimes audiobooks are ruined by the person narrating them, but the narrator for 1984 was really, really good. So shout out to that and that person. And thumbs up the stream. Only half of y'all have done it. Come on now. True, Silicon Valley. If you like 1984, you'd probably like That Hideous Strength. Nice, okay. So yeah, MLMs are constantly doing this double speak, double think, new speak. I think in the book it explains new speak and double speak and a new think combined are double think. I think that's it. Because I know there's new speak, new think, double speak, double think. Anyways, a lot of evil going on. And then obviously examples of this type of control used by evil powers in history is like the Nazis. They used a lot of doublespeak as well. There's examples in William Lutz's book, Doublespeak, where he talks about the Nazis describing, like, for example, someone was led away. Well, what does it mean when someone is led away? Well, they were put in the chamber. Or when somebody was killed trying to escape, shot while trying to flee, meant like someone just went up and shot them type shit. But they classified it differently. Last night, I was watching with my nieces. So my nieces like Spider-Man, but they've never seen like all the Marvel movies. So I started by showing them this summer. I started by showing them the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movies, and they love Spider-Man now. So we went in the summer to see Across the Spider-Verse, and they're on a huge Spider-Man kick. So I was like, we should watch the Marvel movies so that we can watch the new Tom Holland Spider-Mans, but we have to go start from Iron Man 1, otherwise you won't get what's happening in Tom Holland Spider-Man, so just rock with me on this. So right now, thus far, we've watched Iron Man 1, Iron Man 2, Thor 1, and they didn't really care to watch Hulk, so we skipped the Incredible Hulk, sorry. And last night, we watched Captain America, the first one. And obviously, the Hydra, like, soldiers in that movie are based on the Nazis, and Red Skull, his whole Hydra thing is like a spin-off of Hitler's whatever. And at one point in the movie, the Red Skull, who, by the way, shout out, we're connecting all the dots here. Red Skull is played by Hugo Weaving, who also plays V in V for Vendetta, which I thought was very cool. At some point in the movie, Red Skull says something about Hitler, and my niece, who's 11, says to me, "Who's Hitler?" And I was like, what do you mean, who's Hitler? You don't know who Hitler is? She was like, no. And I was like, damn, this is like the first time in my life that I've ever had to like explain to somebody who Hitler was. And I didn't really know how to describe it. And I was like, how the fuck do I explain this? I was like, Hitler was, because I was like, there's no way that I can describe this that's gonna make it hit, like, that's gonna really convey how bad this motherfucker was. So I was like, Hitler was the like leader, basically the president of Germany back during World War II. He was the leader of the Nazis. And my niece was like, oh, okay. And I was like, nah, that's not enough. I was like, yeah. And he killed 6 million people. She was like, oh, okay. And I was like, okay. I just told you that somebody killed 6 million people. She's like, I don't know. It was just too much for her to comprehend, you know. It's really crazy. You know, it's crazy talking to someone who you held as a baby and now they're like, you know, a human. I don't know how to explain it, you know. Now they like have their own thoughts and experiences and whatever. It's really a trip. But yeah, I definitely undersold Hitler for sure. I think she'll learn about World War II next year if I remember my Canadian social studies curriculum history correctly. Okay, let's see. Brave New World, Huxley, I'll check that out. How was my day? How was my day? What the fuck? What did I do today? Oh, I woke up. I read a little bit of some books I'm reading, including Doublespeak, and I went back to my relative's house, my aunt's house, to pick up the leftover pizza from last night that I left there when we were watching the movie. So I went to go get that, and then I came back here and I worked for a few hours on my I can't say too much, on a legal matter. And yeah, now I'm here. How about y'all? The last Blu-ray I bought was the new Aladdin. I've watched it once. Yeah, dude. I mean, why even bother, you know? Why bother now? I snag Criterion editions whenever a flim buff dies or gets divorced and their spouse posts everything on Kijiji. Wow. That's dark, but also smart. Nobody cares about Hulk. Oh, yeah, by the way, speaking of the Marvel shit, I'm so hyped for my nieces. I keep like dropping little hints, and I'm like, just wait till we get to Spider-Man No Way Home. Just wait till we get to Spider-Man No Way Home. I know it's not going to hit for them the same as it did for me, because I was like 7 when the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man came out, 6 or 7. And when I was like 25, Spider-Man No Way Home came out, and I got to see him again. And like, I know it's not going to affect my nieces the same as me because I grew up with it. But, you know, I had Spider-Man 2 on VHS, the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man. I still remember it. I still have the Spider-Man 2 game on PS2. So, yeah, man. But I know their heads are going to explode when we watch Spider-Man No Way Home anyways. Woo! Such a sick movie. Maybe the best movie ever. Lego Batman and Spider-Man No Way Home might be the 2 best movies ever in my book. And Hitler was a bad guy. Carly says, Silicon Valley says, so imagine you hated Disney and you didn't want to see anything about Disney. Then you take everything and anybody like Disney and made them disappear, right? My brother is 13 years my junior, now a freshman in high school. Wow. And it's wild to have real convos with him. That's so cool, right? It's so weird. And like literally my niece be like texting me and I'm like, who the fuck? Like, so you just text now? Bro, I changed your diaper. You know, it's crazy. Seriously crazy. I'd be trying to tell them too. I'm like, you guys realize I was already me when you were born. Like I was already me. I had to wait for y'all to like talk to me now. You don't remember, but I was there. It's weird. Have I read the Gulag Archipelago? I've heard a lot about it, and I think maybe it sounds like such a dark and heavy book that I'm not ready for it yet. The Room is a masterpiece. Marco, don't even be thinking about the Roman Empire. Nah, bro, every day. I'm thinking about it right now. Not gonna lie, I think about it right now. I met a very real 30-year-old who didn't know what the Rwandan genocide was. How? Literally. Insane. Thumbs up the ting. That's what's really insane. Thumbs up the ting. Is that there could be 121 people watching, and it's free to thumbs up the stream, and it helps a lot, and it doesn't like literally just go like that with your finger or whatever, click with the wired mouse, and it's done. You know, it's over. The pain is gone. But no, people can't do it. So yes, what else was I going to say about the doublespeak issue? I think I'm going to do a video. No, as a matter of fact, once I'm done reading doublespeak, I'm going to take what I've learned from 1984 and from the book Doublespeak and compile a very comprehensive list of examples of doublespeak and cult persuasion and authoritarian control that goes on in MLM. And I'm going to compare it to the books and real life MLM, because I think people would be stunned to see the similarities. And I really want people to grasp that in the book 1984, there's billions of people that are under this, you know, subjected to this brainwashing and this authoritarian control. But every year, millions of people in real life are subjected to it through multi-level marketing. Multi-level marketing, again, is a double speak term, because are you marketing in the sense that there is a market of people to buy and sell products to and from? No, there is no market except the market that it creates. And who is the market? Its own distributors, its internal consumption. So it's not a genuine market. The market means you're going out into the world and trying to compete with other businesses that sell similar products or services and sell, market. When they call it multi-level marketing, you're not marketing. The only thing you're marketing is you're marketing the plan to multiple levels of people. But it makes it sound like the way they would describe it is you have multiple levels of distributors who are all marketing products, but there's no marketing going on at all. These companies don't advertise. You don't see billboards or ads on the side of a bus for Herbalife powder. So they're not marketing in any traditional sense. They claim that it's word of mouth, but that's just nonsense. It's just complete nonsense. So, yeah. Daddy Marco, I like that. Has a ring to it. She was mad libtarded too, so I was disturbed, says Silicon Valley, about the 30-year-old who didn't know what the Rwandan genocide was. LOL. Me and Fidel, what were we talking about the other day? Oh, me and Fidel were talking about how crazy it was during 2020, how there were think about all the people in 2020 that took for a ride, that were posting both about BLM and crypto and like Forex and NFTs and whatever during the same time. That's crazy. You had, I talked on a recent stream about how there's nothing white girls love more than going into an Indian wedding, getting dressed up and going to an Indian wedding, and posting about it on Instagram, or like posting a photo and saying, take me back from when they went to, I don't know, wherever, Mexico. But the other thing white women love to do, the other favorite thing white women love to do is post shit that is like, the black square, basically. Post the black square. And man, so many people just got fucking took for, I don't know how to describe it, like slacktivism, like put the flag, the Ukraine flag in their bio, or put the black square on their feed or whatever. But man, the amount of people that were doing both in 2020, 2021, thousands of people owe me deep, humble apologies. Seriously. Forex and at the same time is crazy. Crazy. Yeah. That's what I'm saying, Mars. I'm saying it was like such a double whammy of like fuckery on the people that were most susceptible to both of those scams. And I don't know if I'm not even gonna get into it. How about? Okay, let's go on to this. So we're gonna talk about Zig Ziglar. The title of the stream starts now. Zig Ziglar is a guy whose name I have heard more times than I care to, and every time I've heard about Zig Ziglar, it's been against my will. Every MLM, maybe not every single MLM presentation, but almost every MLM presentation I've attended, whether it be Zoom or in person, they are talking about Jim Rohn, Zig Ziglar, Napoleon Hill, Bob Proctor, and I think it's about time that we talk about Zig Ziglar. So we're going to watch a short video from Ziglar's Ziglar Inc. YouTube channel called Be, Do, and Have More by Zig Ziglar. And this is obviously a very retro video. I have to guess this is from the 70s or 80s that this video came out. And then we're going to watch a more modern one from, it was published actually after he died in 2012, but it's like obviously one of his final interviews that was uploaded. Shit, did not mean to subscribe to that page. Yikes. Yikes, unsubscribe. Why do I have to click 5 things to unsubscribe? From 2013. So let's check it out. This one's called Be, Do, and Have More by Zig Ziglar.
Don't misunderstand this next statement. We're going to also sell you on the idea of work, but I'm not going to spend much time on work. And don't look shocked. It's not that I don't think it's tremendously important, because it is. We've got to accept responsibility. We've got to accept the fact that we've got to perform. And
I take responsibility.
as I tell the kids all over America today, now's the best time you'll ever have in life to get ahead. Now's the most opportune time in America that it has ever been to get ahead.
To get head? Now's the most opportune time in the cult, in the Goonian, in the Legion of Goons, always Marco's cult, to get some head.
Here's what I say. If you show up for work on time and stay there until the appointed departure time, if you do what they pay you to do, and then they pay you, then nobody owes anybody anything. Now, if you want a raise, get there a few minutes early. Ask for extra things to do. Be cheerful and positive and optimistic and helpful. Don't goof off and try to get out of work. Deliberately seek the boss to find extra work, and then I will absolutely guarantee you a raise in short order. Now, your current employer might not be the one to give you the raise. But somebody down the street's going to see what you're doing, and they're going to say, that's the boy I want working for me.
I don't know if this is just a product of the times. You know, back in the old-timey, the transatlantic accent, we're like, listen here, see? Listen, Jack. Well, this one's the bee's knees, isn't it? And it's a home run. And swing and a miss. And he's on third base. You know what I mean? I don't know if this is an example of just how people spoke at the time. But it really annoys me how this type of speaking Zig Ziglar's doing in this video, he's not talking to the audience, he's talking at the audience. It's like he's at home filming a YouTube video, which he scripted and rehearsed a whole bunch of times, and there's no audience there. But because there is an audience there, it's kind of jarring. It's like he's just talking. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, an example of this is when I did my first video on WFG, and the guy was giving his pitch and talking about how it's easier to have a blue jacket in WFG than it is to buy a Tim Hortons franchise because that's a big headache and blah, blah, blah. And I did something that they didn't expect and nobody really does in those meetings, is I interjected and I talked to him and I asked him a very logical question. I said, I didn't even actually ask a question. I just brought up a point. I said, if you do this 5-5-30 and you recruit 5, then you have 25, then they recruit 5, you have 125, then you have 625, and then you have 3,125. How could that be possible? Because within a few cycles, you're going to have millions of people. He didn't know what the fuck to say. What did he say? If you recruit 5,000 people, that'll be good for you, buddy, because then you'll be making millions of dollars. And what did I say? Well, I'm not going to recruit 5,000 people because how would that happen? And when that happened, you can't see it in the video, but somebody tapped me on the shoulder, like one of their goons in the audience, and was like, shh, like, any questions you have, you can ask us after. And it's like, This is what happens when the slightest amount of pushback gets brought up to one of these scammers. It's like they need somebody else to shut it down, and that's their worst nightmare. They don't expect it. So when I did my ACN video, like less than a year later, when I was filming the Nathan presentation in the penthouse, I didn't interject. I didn't bring up any of this stuff. I didn't make objections to what he was saying because I knew that by not speaking up, I could be potentially invited to another event where I could get even more footage, which of course did happen. Shout out to me. It was hard not to say anything though, because I had to let the people that I was sitting in the room with get scammed, knowing full well that I could stand up and say something, but I had to make a decision between saving the people who are in this room right now or getting the footage to potentially save thousands of people. And of course, that's like my second most viewed video. If you go on my channel right now and sort by popular, you'll see it's my most viewed video, but actually it's my second most viewed video. And y'all know what I'm talking about. Wink, wink, cough, cough. So yeah, with Nathan, I didn't say anything, but there were so many moments where I could have just made Nathan crumble. And unfortunately, this is what they all do. There was a Robert Fitzpatrick CBC Marketplace investigation that he was part of. I forget the title of it, where they go into one of these presentations, and Robert interjects and says, hey, I have a calculator here, and I just did this calculation that you told us to do where you recruit 8 people who recruit 8 people, and within 10 cycles, you've exceeded the population of the earth. And the guy, there's a pause, the affection of the crowd, if you will, is up in the air at this moment. And the presenter reclaims the, control of the room by going, see, that's what I mean, everybody. Some people believe in the dream and know what we're doing, and they're motivated to go. And some people are doubters and skeptics and need calculators to, figure this out, and they'll never win, and blah, blah, blah. And amazingly, the mob psychology allowed the presenter to win back the audience. And people were like, yeah, fuck this nerd, like towards Robert, basically. Like, fuck this nerd with his little calculator. It's like absolutely crazy, brainwashing. And I got frustrated recently because I watched another one of these CBC Marketplace things that Robert was in.
All right, stop.
Collaborate and listen. Ice is back with a
new...
brand new invention. Something grabs a hold of me tightly. Something like a harpoon. Turn it tightly. Put it to the stop. Yo, I don't know. Turn out the lights and I'll glow. Ask me if I didn't have a Crazy Frog CD with a cover of Ice Ice Baby on it. And that was the first CD I ever got. And it was from Costco. Ask me. Thank you for the dono, Rob Van Winkle, which is, of course, Vanilla Ice's real name. Thank you. I wonder if that's the same person posting as Lou Vega. But what was I even fucking saying? Thumbs up the ting. That's what I was saying.
Thumbs up the ting.
Yes, there was another Robert Fitzpatrick collaboration between him and CBC Marketplace, where the lead journalist from it was totally underprepared to object to the objections or to rebut the objections of the MLM guy that they sort of bombarded him in this interview where they're like, hey, we're CBC Marketplace. Talk to us about your pyramid scheme, whatever. And she fumbled the bag. This guy was so well trained in the nonsensical deception language of MLM. She didn't know what to say. And I would say he actually beat her in this interaction they had. Because there's one part where she says, and I've heard a variation of this too. She says to him, oh, well, we did the math, and our expert said if you recruit 8 people who recruit 8 people, it can only go so many cycles and you'll run out of people. And what does the guy say? Well, that would never actually happen, so it's a completely moot point. And then he goes, Jesus Christ has been dead for whatever. What did he say? Jesus Christ has been recruiting for millions of years or thousands of years. Millions of years. Yeah, he was a dinosaur. Jesus Christ has been recruiting for thousands of years, and there's still billions of people who aren't Christians. And she didn't have a good response to that. It's like, this is the type of shit where it sounds like it's rooted in logic, but it's complete fucking nonsense. I don't even have a flashy term to give you, like doublespeak. It's just nonsense. Flim-flam, gobbledygook, blah, hoopla, nonsense. Jesus Christ was not getting disciples because of promises of material wealth. And those disciples were not told to get 5 people who get 5 people so that they could become an ultra mega quadruple diamond Christian. It's such an easy thing to poke a hole through. But in the moment, when someone says it confidently enough, it can be hard to combat it because it's like, oh, that does sound logical. Like when I did a video about this company that's primarily an American company, and one of their leaders says like, 90% of or 50% of marriages end in divorce. Is that a scam? It's like, motherfucker. People in marriages are not, fumbling their marriage because they failed to recruit two couples who recruited two couples who recruited two couples. It's not by virtue of the design of marriage that the marriages are falling apart. There's many other factors, and you can make a good argument for maybe why marriage is not such a good idea in some cases and whatever. But just because you're pointing out that one thing isn't super viable doesn't mean that your thing now is viable. Never mind the fact that a 50% failure rate with marriage is nowhere near the 99% failure rate of MLM. Again, these people have been trained from day one to spew this fucking nonsense. Stuff that sounds pseudo-logic, you know what I mean? Black-white, double-think, newspeak, double-speak, nonsense. Okay, let me read your comments. I'm a little bit behind. Okay, let me see. Gail never posted the black square. We love to see that. I know people have good intentions. It's just like, it's funny, Ziglar is just another Dexter Yeager copycat wannabe, says Glenn. I believe you, Glenn. Zag Gagler. Marco, are you cut or uncut? Sebastian, why do you need to know that, bro? I'm cut. Don't give a fuck. Don't give a fuck. Can't trust a dude named Zig. His real name was like Hillary, I think. Zig Ziglar. His real name was Hillary. Literally, I guessed it. Hillary Hinton Ziglar. No shit, he went by Zig. He died in Plano, Texas. Scott Johnson. Scott Johnson, where you at? Where you at, Scott?
Let's go.
Charismatic crop duster speech. The 70s. Thank you, Janowski Designs. System brings the people, buddy. So true. Marco choosing Harvey Dent over Rachel. Yes. Smash the like for sure. 40 of you haven't done it. Jesus had disciples because of that tight tuchus. So true. Marriage being bad does not make MLM good. Likewise with student debt. You know what the real scam is? College. So many people get into student debt. They never end up getting a degree. They go on a path to slavery. Best case scenario, they're going to work 80 hours a week and make money, but they can't enjoy their time with it because they have to go back and work at their job for their BOSS. Madness. Yeah, we saw the Matthew. Julian, if you were here earlier, you would have seen that I already covered the Matthew Perry passing away thing today, so sorry about that. All right. Let's continue with this nonsense.
That's the girl I want working for me because he or she are doing more than they're paid to do. That's the way you get a raise.
That's the way.
Oh, don't misunderstand. You got to work. You can't be like this old boy down home. And you're going to find out earlier there are an awful lot of old boys down home.
Literally has a pyramid on the screen or up on the stage. All good?
Somebody, at least there were when I was down there, somebody asked him how long he'd been working for his company, and he said, ever since they threatened to fire me. So that's about the size of it, yeah?
Such a Nathan, fake smile, fake little jokey, fake charisma, fake charm. I gotta call Nathan. I gotta call Nathan at his new insurance job and ask him if he's down to do an interview with me now that ACN booted him to the street.
But here's what we've discovered. If you got a good self-image, if you have your goals set in life, if you've got the right mental attitude, nobody has to tell you, go to work.
Simple! Dale Calver, baby. If you're with the right company at the right moment in history with the right team, it's the greatest income opportunity in the world. Said by the same guy who's been in countless companies over the years and can't make this shit up.
That just follows naturally. So this is what we're going to work on. And you got to have a desire to succeed. You can't just casually want the good things in life. It's got to become a passion for you. Your dream has got to be more than just an idle thought. You got to be willing to build a foundation.
I don't know much about the background of Zig Ziglar's life pre-becoming Zig Ziglar, the motivational speaker. I don't know about Hillary Hinton Ziglar. But what I will say is this video was being filmed at such a time, and he came into prominence at such a time when there was no Google to do research on somebody and see if they were actually lying about their background. Bob Proctor took the literal page from Napoleon Hill's book, where Napoleon Hill was also not good person and a scammer and a failure in every business venture he ever tried. And even the the whole book, Think and Grow Rich, is this story about how Napoleon Hill supposedly met, somebody remind me the name of the then richest man in the world, and was, given the task of going and speaking to all the richest people in the world to figure out how they did it. And that's how he wrote the book, Think and Grow Rich. That never even happened. The estate of who was the guy? Who was the then richest man at the time that Zig Ziglar claimed that he, Andrew Carnegie. Thank you, Guillaume. Andrew Carnegie's estate said that they never even met. Was it Dale Carnegie, Andrew Carnegie? Carnegie. They never even met. And Bob Proctor, if the research I've done into his background was he was a janitor and he was a mechanic. He was a janitor and a mechanic, and then fast forward, he's on Oprah talking about The Secret. And what is The Secret? Think it. Well, how can I think better? I thought it didn't happen. Well, you can pay me thousands of dollars. And when it doesn't happen again, you can pay me tens of thousands of dollars. I remember, wow, this just clicked for me. I remember watching an interview of Alex Morton, in my opinion, maybe one of the worst people of our time. And you might remember Alex Morton came into prominence during the Vima days. He was like the lead promoter of Vima. Alex Morton's doing this interview that I watched where he's talking about the legacy of Bob Proctor and how much of an inspiration he was. That was his mentor. And after Bob Proctor died, Alex Morton's doing this interview and he's saying about Bob, the most inspirational thing about Bob was that I was doing a call with him one time and he turned the camera around and showed off his balcony, his pool in his backyard. And he told me, Alex, I know that one day there will come a day where if I really believe it and I really want it, I could go out into the backyard and walk across that pool. And Alex is saying this like, and it was so inspirational. And, he really did have that ability. He really could do it. It reminds me so much. It's almost identical to a scene out of 1984 that I just listened to where while the main character is being tortured by one of the members of the party, of Ingsoc, the party member tells Winston, we are the party. None of us are the party. We are all the party. We're all part of the bigger thing. It's not something that can be controlled by any one of us. And I could levitate right now if I chose to, but the party doesn't choose to. Again, just speaking in riddles, speaking in nonsense, claiming and really believing that they could levitate, but I just don't want to. Well, why didn't Bob Proctor shut everyone up and go walk across the water? Why didn't he do that from day one? Surely you could have got more people to pay you tens of thousands of dollars for your training if you had just done it from day zero, right? Or at least before you died. He lived to be like 90-something. So why not? Complete nonsense. Complete fucking brainwashing. At best, it's brainwashing. At worst, it's pure evil. And in my opinion, Alex Morton is an evil person. I truly believe that. I truly believe in my heart that Alex Morton is a sociopath, psychopath, evil person. Absolutely. Yeah, he's one of the worst. Him, David Imonitie, they are among the worst of the worst because they have already had such a legacy of scamming people through various MLMs, and they're still both relatively young. Like, God forbid they both live to be Bob Proctor's age. The amount of victims that will have been accrued between the two of them is in the millions just between those two people. It's absolutely diabolical. Thank you, LW. Really appreciate you. I'll be seeing you over there on Philip's streams. Thank you. Okay, let's read your comments here. Amway 1970 was the right place at the right time. No fucking kidding. Amway in 1990 was the right place at the right time. Yep. Amway Quickstar A2K was the right place at the right time. Are you noticing a trend? They're all the right place at the right time. They will all tell you now is the best time. They told you during COVID that now was the time. They told you during the 2008 recession, now was the time. They told you during when the computers were going to take over in 1999, they told you it was the best time. It's always been the best time. They told you during the dot-com bubble was the best time. They told you during the stock market crash in the 80s that it was the best time, and on and on and on. You know. Dale Carnegie changed his name to sound like he was related to Andrew. Insane. Thumbs up the ting. Marco, didn't you have to read 1984 in grade school? No, I didn't. Which I think it would have been weird if we read it in grade school because there's talk of like sex and rape in the book. So I don't think that would have flown in grade school. I also was in Catholic school for grade 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So yeah, I don't know when. If anything, it would have been high school. But I remember we did To Kill a Mockingbird. We didn't do 1984. I think 1984 would have been better, but. What up, Braden Meyer? I scammed my little brother his popsicle. Does that make me evil? Maybe. When I got a flu, they said it was the best time, so I invested, and now I'm bankrupt. LOL. Read Animal Farm. Yeah, I'm going to read that one next, because 1984 was a banger. My dad used to say, says Glenn, my dad used to say, appreciate you, Braden and L. My dad used to say, I am in the right room at the right time with the right people. We haven't began to begun. I mean, Glenn will be the first one to tell you how brainwashed his dad is. And I feel bad because, you know, it makes people crazy. This makes people crazy. Glenn's dad has been in Amway, what, 20 years? 30 years? 20 years? 20 years. And has nothing to show for it still, has lost more money than he's got out, has put in more than he's got out, and still believes, still believes, you know, if I didn't laugh, I would cry, still believes it's the greatest opportunity in the world, and that we're right around the corner, you know, 23 years. Insane. Wow. Damn, Mars, you had a sick curriculum. That did go in. We haven't began to begun. Crazy. Okay, let's finish this Zig Ziglar shit.
Under it, and that's for sure. Now, we're going to be taking these steps, and quite obviously, ladies and gentlemen, I believe that these steps are what is necessary. But let me identify to you what one of the major problems in America is. One of the problems is, you see, we have said to people, all of these things are available. We've shown them the big homes, the big cars, the swimming pools, the jet set, the style of living that a lot of people say, yeah, I'd kind of like that. And then on the other side of the ledger, we have said everybody not only can get these things, but everybody deserves these things. America is a rich and affluent land, and everybody can get them. Then we have another segment of society that says that crime is caused by poverty, with one segment saying, you deserve these things, and you ought to have them. And another segment saying that crime is caused by poverty. We subliminally, subconsciously plant a thought. Don't wait to get it. Go get it right now. There has never been a definitive study that establishes any correlation between crime and poverty. During the Great Depression, the crime rate was much lower in 1939 than it was in 1930, at the end of a decade of the roughest depression our country has ever had. So what we're saying is, let's start climbing some steps. You see, we could draw you an elevator to the top, but I'd have to be honest and say the elevator doesn't work. You're going to have to start taking these steps, and you're going to have to take them one at a time.
Saying nothing.
But I've discovered that people don't mind taking the steps. If you tell them where they are, show them how many there are, and then tell them exactly how to climb the steps. But you see, you gotta climb the steps. You can't skip them. On September the 15th, 1944, in Jackson, Mississippi at the YWCA at exactly 18 minutes after 8 o'clock, I saw the prettiest little girl standing over by the Nickelodeon. Now, some of you won't know what a Nickelodeon is. That's a jukebox, okay? And I thought to myself, boy, what I'd really like to do is I'd like to go over there and I'd like to grab her in my arms and I'd like to start hugging her and kissing her right now. That's exactly what I wanted to do. But if I had, she wouldn't be sitting here as my wife of over 30 years today.
What, bro? What, bro? I'm confused. I'm confused. I'm very confused right now.
Because I would have skipped too many steps. So I did something real original. I walked up to her and I said, "Hi." And she said, "Hi." And the first thing you know, since it was a dance, there we were, a little YWCA dance, and we were dancing. And I got her telephone number that night, and we had a lot of telephone calls. And then one day I said, "Hey, we ought to be going out." And she said, "Okay." So we had a date. Then we had another one and another one. And then, you know, it wasn't but 2 years and 2 months and 11 days and 1 hour later that she became my very own. But we took some steps along the way. I don't care how bright.
The most padded, fluffed up, crammed with words to meet the word count analogy for just making the point that things need steps. Well, 1942 was the year, and it was 18 minutes after 6 o'clock. Why? Literally just filling up the word count on an essay.
That you are in school, you cannot move from 2 times 2 equals 4 into analytical geometry. You got to take some steps. Now, the mistake a lot of people make is they get on one step and sit there.
The fact that, man, I feel so bad. People be struggling and desperate to the point that they'll be sitting there. Like, if you're a former MLM distributor, I really hope that you have, like, the notebooks that they made you keep. Go back and look through them and see what kind of fucking nonsense you were writing. Oh, yeah, be committed. Things need steps. These people sitting there. Imagine leaving a seminar like this going, huh, that really clicked for me. Things do need steps. I can't just be wearing an entire outfit. I need to start with my underwear and then put my socks on and then put my pants on and then put my shirt on and then put my belt on and then put my tie on and then put my jacket on and then put my shoes on and then put my hat on. I guess things really do need steps. Thanks, Zig.
You know, that's not what I'm talking about either. What I'm talking about is taking these steps and then you will get these things. A lot of people say, well, what do you do to get started? Well, let me tell you a little story. A number of years ago, I heard a philosopher say, you are where you are because that's exactly where you want to be. And boy, that sounded so philosophical too. You know, I went all over the country saying, you are where you are because that's exactly where you want to be. And the wise old owls in the audience would nod, you know, and say, that's right, that's exactly right. You know, isn't it amazing the number of us that want to sound philosophical? And then one night, I was in Birmingham, Alabama, on my way to Meridian, Mississippi, and the roads were under repair. So I stopped at a service station to get directions, and the young attendant not only gave me the directions, but he was kind enough to draw me a map. He said, now, sir, if you will follow these directions as I have laid them out.
Dude, this is on normal speed, too. Imagine if I put this on 2x.
I'll guarantee you you'll get to Meridian with plenty of time to spare. Well, I followed the directions exactly as he laid them out, but 1 hour later, I was exactly 45 miles further from Meridian than I had been when I got the directions. Now, folks, I wasn't there because that's where I wanted to be. Man, I was tired and sleepy. I wanted to be in bed. I was there because some dude gave me the wrong directions. And I'm going to look you dead center and say this. If you're broke, I don't really believe that's what you want. If you're despondent, I can't believe that that's what you want. If you're down in the dumps, if you're negative, if you're miserable and all those things, I don't believe that's what you really want. I believe that maybe, just maybe, you might be there because somebody has given you some wrong directions.
Literally like a spoken word poet, the way he changes his shit and adds pauses. So gross.
But don't get too comfortable with that thought, because I'm fixing to take it away from you
Let me guess, Zig, you have the right directions.
right quick. I'm going to jerk the rug out from under your feet. Now, you ready for this?
Oh, yeah.
See, if that has been the problem in the past, and you want to continue to be able to say, life has dealt me unfairly, people have done me wrong, if you want to be able to keep saying that, you better get up and leave right now. You better withdraw from the Richer Life course, because I'm flat going to take that excuse away from you forever. We're going to give you methods and techniques so that regardless of who you are, whether you're a student or a doctor, whether you're a salesperson or a school teacher, whether or not you are a mechanic or a teacher or a TV personality, regardless of who and what you are, these methods and steps will work for you now.
Jesus Christ, bro. Jesus Christ. This is what experts talk about when they say MLM presenters are experts at delivering lies wrapped up in the truth. Many isolated statements from Zig that we just watched are true. Things do take steps. It is important to have a good self-image and be driven and work hard. Absolutely. Do you agree that you should take advice from somebody who has the results that you want? Yes. Would you like to make some extra money? Yes. Would you like to not, have to take shit from your boss and work for yourself? Yes. They're saying things that are all true in order to set up the foundation, but what is really inside? A lie. And the lie is, well, you can do all of that if you follow my plan. And what is the plan? The plan is the plan, the MLM plan. Get two people who get two people, the binary, or get one layer deep but 10 people wide, the uni-level plan, or get a 5x5 or an 8x8. That is the lie, the big lie. Watch my interview with Robert Fitzpatrick if you want to hear us talk more about the big lie. It was actually a Nazi propaganda technique. That's where it originated. Yeah, man. Really crazy shit. Really crazy shit. And, he's sitting there talking to a room full of people saying, it doesn't matter if you're a doctor, a mechanic, a teacher, a student, whatever. Think about this. Think of all the times you yourself have heard people on social media or seen them in videos saying, I'm making, I hear this from people in WFG a lot, or who used to be there, or who went to a presentation. Everyone that was in the presentation is celebrating making $100K. In my WFG videos, you saw that in part 1, people clapping and cheering. Oh yeah, they made $500 million, blue jacket, and they're all celebrating. If you actually, let's just as an experiment, I would love to do this. Go to every one of the major rallies, major events of every big, of 10 MLM companies even. Not even all of them, because there's hundreds. The 10 biggest MLM companies. Go to every one of their big rallies that they have in Mercedes-Benz Stadium or one of these big arenas, and count and really calculate and tally up the amount of people that went on stage that night saying that they made 6 figures or more. And do that for the top 10 MLM companies in one calendar year. I bet you that if you added up the actual dollar figure that each person claimed to be making, you would have more money than is actually in circulation in the world, or at least in the United States. The math just doesn't make sense. You have to sit there and go, how could everyone in this room be making $100K? The truth is, they're not. But if everyone else is, who's the problem? You're the one who's not. You're the one who's crazy. I've talked to people. I remember I got a DM from this girl a few years ago who had been going to these WFG presentations, and she was like early on in the process. She's like, I would just leave so confused and so frustrated that I would sit in my car and cry because it felt like everybody else was achieving their dreams, and I'm sitting here fucking broke, and I'm in this environment of everyone being so positive, And then I go out and I'm by myself and it just crashes down. And I'm like, what? Am I a fuck up? That's what they want you to think. They want you to think you need them. In V for Vendetta, John Hurt's character, who's the big brother evil guy on the screen, Chancellor Sutler, he says, amidst the, people uprising or the threat of people uprising, he says, I want you to remind them why they need us. That's exactly what it is. It's exactly what these people do. Think Nathan in my ACN video, maybe the best case subject of an MLM grifter that I've ever documented, with his watch and him talking about my girl Julia and this is my penthouse, thanks for coming here and blah, 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 and his little smug smile. You need him, right? Because, you guys, I've been doing this such a long time and you need to find a mentor. Find a mentor who has the results that you want. Well, who the fuck is he talking about? Himself. Insane. And in a video that I remember seeing somewhere about a company in America that's very primal, and they're primarily an American company, and they're a prime company, American. You see the leaders of this company who are being documented, and all of them have this air of like piety around them. All of them think they're literally the reincarnation of Jesus. It's insane. All right, back to your guys' comments. Thumbs up the ting. Thank you for the donations, too. Glenn says, my dad believes it's a certainty that he will be a multimillionaire in 12 months' time with complete financial freedom. And mind you, this has been going on for 23 years. I do have an email, yes. Always marcomgmt@gmail.com. It's on my Instagram. I was scammed by Amway through LTD group owned by Larry Winters. I keep hearing this name, Larry Winters. I have a video about Amway, but I haven't done an in-depth investigation. I don't want to die in my sleep mysteriously or, be found with a bullet wound to the back of my head in an alley and have it ruled a suicide, if you know what I mean. He does sort of look like Bob Proctor. Everyone in the 70s had those fucking glasses, huh? All right, let's read you guys' comments here. You crawl before you walk because crawling means progress and progress means walking. Thank you very much. I'll see you at the top. That'll be $5,000. Right, Specs? Never trust a guy with first and last name, with the same first and last name. I know a John Johnson. So poetic. Yep, John Smith. Yo, sounds like Joel Osteen. Yeah, Joel Osteen before Joel Osteen. 30 tapes minimum. He spoke at our AG convention in the late 80s. Insane. Boring as hell. We were all sleeping. I might have to come back on another stream and do another one of my MLM like guru with the cowboy hat. I might have to grab the cowboy hat and do another one of my guru rants where I just freestyle the fucking nonsense that they be saying. I could literally, if I knew that that's what I was going to be doing that day with like no preparation, I just woke up and you're like, today, this is what you're doing. I could probably stand up there for 8 hours straight talking this fucking nonsense because it's such fluff. It's such babble. You don't even need to worry about saying anything intelligent or true. Word salad, yep. I have the comp plan and the employee handbook of the MLM I worked for. That'd be nice. Minecraft villager sounds in the audience. Legit snake oil merchant, yeah. Glenn says, Marco, these events change people's lives. Change people's life. In 2001, my dad went to a $235 function that he was convinced was going to change his life. 23 years later, he's still waiting. Sunk cost fallacy, man. The deeper you're in it, the longer you think that you're going to, the longer you put money into that slot machine and keep playing, losing, the more you rationalize in your mind that, well, now I have to keep going because maybe the next one is the jackpot and I win it all back. It's a fallacy because it's not true. That's why it's called the sunk cost fallacy, because the truth is you stop losing when you stop playing. Is the MLM as an industry growing or shrinking over the last decade? It is shrinking, but during COVID, they had a massive spike. $250,000 for Tony Robbins. Yep. I cringed. Josh says, I cringed so hard looking through the notes I was taking during my time at Amway, right? Get to the point. What up, bad dog? This guy has the look of a cult leader. I repeat, he sounds like a charismatic pastor preaching prosperity gospel, which is a type of manipulation that also sickens me to hell, right? Do you want your grandma to be free of cancer? Send me $1,000 cash in the mail. Man. My friend just joined PHP. Sorry to hear that, Paul. Primal Americans US. Marco, ever going to make videos on the prime Americans that shall not be named? I'm working on it. I can't say anything. No worries, Braden. They got him with the allure of financial freedom and the hustle grind mindset. Yeah. Are you tired of the 9-to-5 job? Invest in this magical unicorn shampoo and you'll be sipping coconut water on your private island in no time. Trust me. Does that make sense with you guys? Disgusting. That's why I think this is such a good niche for me to focus on, the MLM niche, because they all use the same tricks. It doesn't matter at this point in my journey, it doesn't matter how long somebody has been in MLM and how skilled they are in the deceptions and doublespeak and logical fallacies and false equivalencies. I know all of them at this point. I know every trick in the book. I will win any time. I will always win. Marco is an MLM plant taking out his employer's competition. Ron Hubbard's book was advertised on TV. Damn, no, I didn't know that. All right, we have one more video. This one's even shorter, half the length of that first one, with the worst green screening I've ever seen in my life. It's an interview between Zig Ziglar and this guy, Keith Rosen. Wow. Wow.
There have been some interesting studies done recently, and with this new economy, it seems that the old transactional way of selling is dead. It just doesn't work.
Let me guess. They're going to talk about how network marketing is the future because actually, the fact that they still be using that nowadays is even more perplexing than it's ever been, because now it is easier than it has ever been to buy something online, and more stuff is becoming like digital, even books. You can get audio books.
MLMs need to stop drawing comparisons to starting a legitimate business. It's not as simple as they make it out to be, and there's no platform to follow. New guy here.
Thank you, new guy here. Really appreciate you being here. Thanks so much for the support. Appreciate you. MLM scam. Thank you. Yeah, I can't, I don't even know what they be saying these days to try to justify that. But this is from 2012, so let's check it.
Even the salespeople out there that are only focused on relationship-based selling, they're the ones that are floundering. Where the ones that are challenging status quo, challenging the way people sell out there, they're the ones that are thriving and succeeding. So when you look at a salesperson, Zig, what does it take to be a sales superstar today?
I believe number one, integrity is the most important thing in a
The fucking irony.
salesperson's life, because the reputation established years ago is that a salesman is going to tell you things that might or might not be true. And so that's one of the reasons I was always been so careful to never exaggerate, never to oversell, always to follow through on anything I was doing. And when I'm talking to people, I listen carefully, and I'm always kind. I don't care what their thoughts are. I'm always kind to them. I don't ever start an argument.
That's great.
The always being kind thing is also a way of deflecting and condescending too, because you're always taking the high road. In truth, it's just you being smug and unable to take any criticism. It's having a wall up. You know what I mean? That way, if someone like me were to say some objection, which was completely logical and truthful, they'd be condescending and kind, talk to me like a little kid to make me look like I'm a hater or some shit, you know?
That's great advice for everyone out there today.
I think it is too. I think, you know, getting along with people is so very, very important. And I've been so fortunate. I've had so many good teachers and people who took an interest in me. I was the 10th of 12 children. I asked my mom one time, I said, "Mom, why so many?" She said, "Well, son, where do you think I should have stopped?" I didn't think after number 9. Now, you can count on that. But I've always had good teachers, people that God placed in my life to guide me through whatever was going on in the economy at that point. Economy changes all the time, but the salesperson should not always be changing. They should be consistent. They should be hardworking. They should be truthful. They should do things that will help somebody else. My favorite quote is, "You can have everything in life you want if you'll just help enough other people get what they want."
Literally, Bob Proctor. Help enough other people get what they want and you'll have what you want. And so by helping other people get what they want, you mean scamming them in MLM? Oh, okay.
I'm very convinced that that is an absolute truth.
It's certainly a philosophy we should all have embedded in our core beliefs. I'm wondering, you mentioned integrity. Everyone has a different definition of integrity. Zig, what's your definition of?
My definition of integrity is fucking people over and sucking every dime they have out of their wallets. That's how I maintain integrity. The word integrity, I have PTSD about the word integrity now because of Dominic Izzo during our debate, talking about integrity. A guy who's literally an MLM scammer for a living, or do we even know if he's making a living from it? I don't know. But a career MLM scammer for how long? Talking about, I don't have integrity. Me, Marco, I don't have integrity because I was never in an MLM. So me talking about MLM and making videos and trying to protect people from it is just me being a grifter. I'm just doing it for views, just doing it for money, just doing it for clout. You know, so there's no integrity there, you know? And if I didn't make money from it, they'd say, "You're a brokey, do something better with your time, go get some money, you're not even getting money from this." If I got no views, they'd say, "You're not even getting any views." If I do get views, they say, "Well, you're just doing this for views." They'll say, you know, there's no winning. There's no winning.
Of integrity.
My definition is it's truth all the time in your personal life, your family life, your business life, your neighborhood life. In other words, if you go around being 3 or 4 different people, you're not going to have much of a career, that's for sure. And I've been so grateful. I've not had to solicit a speaking engagement in many, many years because I built a reputation. People knew they could trust me. Trust is the most important thing in life, in the home, in the business world, in the community, wherever you are.
What has he said so far? We're 3 minutes in. This video is less than 5 minutes. What has he said so far? Be nice. Tell the truth. And he's not doing one of those things.
Truth is always fun and very, very important to
The truth is 99% of people lose money. That's not very fun.
anybody's career, regardless of what they're doing.
You talked about character before. Where does character play a role, our reputation? How important is that today?
He just said.
Well, I got to tell you that your reputation is the most important thing you've got. Because if you build a reputation of being dependable, truthful, and always doing the right thing, you can have a wonderful career. I've been so blessed because I had so many great people to enter my life when I was a child and teach me things. And I went to work on Saturday before I entered the 5th grade on Monday, and I was buying my own clothes at that particular point. So I've always been in, you know, in the community, always doing something to make some money because my family was one of the families that didn't have very much. My dad died when I was 5. I'm the 10th of the 12 children, you know, and so, but it was a Depression time when I was born.
And whatever got you into sales in the first place?
Well, my boss at the grocery store was Mr. John R. Anderson, and he was a very wise man. He had had a great college education and so forth, and he loved people. I named my son after Mr. John R. Anderson.
So have you learned what it takes to be a true sales champion? I sure have. Insane. You can't believe you've done this. You can't make this up, you guys. Oh, man. You would have better luck with slot machines. So true, Carrie Anna. The conventions and vacations are how they keep people brainwashed. Totally. And also how they keep reinforcing the peer pressure and the us versus them mentality. If you leave, you will be shunned. You can find many full length, like hour-long plus videos of MLM conventions on YouTube. Go watch one and see how many times they talk about in all of their speeches, all the people who were on my team back in the early days who left, they're real sad now. Look who's laughing now. It's all about reinforcing this, like, you know, this is the way. If you leave, you're going to be made fun of. You know, I'm going to be here next year making $1 million, and you're going to be working at your job, flipping burgers and making fries, and we're all going to be laughing at you. It's like, it reinforces this, like, oh, shit, I guess I can't leave type attitude. What about how they say your hair falling out from their shampoo is your hair detoxing? Insane. I never oversell. Attend my workshop and I'll make you a multimillionaire, right? The only way you would not become a multimillionaire would be if you were a negative loser. Exactly. Exactly, you guys. And you know what's crazy? They always say, and I talk about this with Robert in our interview, they always say in MLMs, hate never comes from above. It only comes from below. People trying to bring you down to be at their level. Generally, I would say that is true. Thank you, Ignacio. But it's, again, this idea of lies wrapped up in truth. Because they say hate never comes, this is what they say. Hate never comes from above. Well, then I guess I'm not hating, right? Then I guess I could never be called a hater, right? Because I'm a YouTuber. It's literally the most desirable job for most people, especially young people, people under the age of 18. I think the number one thing above being a rapper or a DJ or any shit like that was being a YouTuber. I'm literally a YouTuber. I have almost 100,000 subscribers. I've made it in the eyes of most people. So am I no longer, am I exempt from the hater label? Because according to y'all, hate never comes from above? Y'all are in debt. Y'all are struggling. I'm over here chilling. I'm on YouTube. So, oh, well, no, he is a it's just like they have a, when I zigged, I should have zagged.
I'm a hater kidding OFC.
Thank you, Thomas. Yeah, if I zigged, I should have zagged, which is funny because we're talking about Zig Ziglar here. And we're talking about thumbs up the ting. We're talking about ting tingler here.
Thumbs up the ting.
Ting tingler here. Make sure you thumbs up the ting because it's only 136 of y'all have done it and there's 150 people. That sounds like terrible sales advice, says Mars. The economy changes, but salesmen shouldn't, right? MLMs are consistent. I do have to give them that, Glenn. They've been saying the exact same thing for 50 years. Longer. If MLMs are so bad, how do they have so many celebrity endorsements? Explain that. Money. Thank you, Ignacio, for the Donacio. Hello. Dominic has a crazy new video out. Starts okay until he suggests the high failure rate is because the majority of participants are women. Those stupid women, frankly, they're so stupid. You look at what's going on with MLMs, and it's unbelievable, frankly, and they're losers. They're losing bigly, so bad. They go in the MLM companies, they're losing. One of the things I love about that is that I've heard so many MLM people say that the 99% loss rate is because most people only sign up for the discount and don't actually produce any business. So they're bringing down the averages of the rest of the people who are actually working hard. That's why the loss rates are so abysmal. Not only do they not have any way of validating that saying, that argument, or proving it because it's complete nonsense, It's actually the opposite. The opposite is true. There are so few people making any money, and the true average is somewhere in the negative of tens of thousands of dollars. But the people who are making the hundreds of thousands and millions, the very few of them, are bringing the average up. It's not that most people are lazy, stupid women or, inactive distributors who just signed up for the discount, bringing the average down. It's the opposite. It's the people who are making millions who are bringing the average up. If you took them out of the equation, you would see that the average figure would be a negative followed by several zeros. Just crazy how they... And I can prove that number, by the way. I can prove that number with the income disclosure. What they say, the shit about, most people are just lazy, women who don't try hard enough or people who sign up for the discount. Your numbers don't reflect that. You can't prove that. Show me the internal document, the, financial report that actually breaks it down and shows how many of these distributors that you claim are just signing up for the discount. Show that. Show how many of them are inactive. Show how many of them just signed up for the discount. Surely there's a way that you track that. Of course not. They don't know. They made it up. We made it up. It was false. What's that meme? From the old show? I don't know. My grandma was one of 12 kids born and raised in the South. Am I secretly related to Zig Ziglar? Huh. Could be. That'd be lit. Hate does come from above in MLMs, though. Think about it, says Bad Dog. The people in MLMs with all the money hate on all of us losers with a J-O-B, right? No kidding. YouTube. You zigged when you should have zagged. The fault is always shifted. So true. Here we go.
When I was in Worldwide Dream Builders, Amway, they had the 5 cardinal rules. One of the rules was to not mess with anyone's money, and they would use this rule to manipulate us to meet the customer sales goal once the qualification requirements changed.
Can't make it up. Thank you so much for the dono, Jalissa. Yeah, the 5 cardinal rules. I haven't heard about this before. You're the first person a former Amway person telling me about this. I mean, they have so many of these. The top 3 things, the top 10 things, the top 5, the tape of the day, the tape of the week, the tape of the month, the 5 cardinal rules. Don't mess with anyone's money. Manipulate us to meet the customer sales goal. Interesting. Can you believe it? You can't make it up. And I know I tell people report to the FTC. The truth is, the FTC is part of it, and I talked about that in my most recent video, the truth about pyramid schemes. The FTC is in on it. They're an essential part of gatekeeping who stays and who goes down. They are there to keep the scam going. Sorry to tell you, that's the bitter truth. And so I know I tell people to report to the FTC, and you should, because I feel like historically one day maybe we'll be able to see. Maybe they just delete them. I don't know. If they come in about a certain company, they just delete them. I don't know. But I think truly the task of ridding the world of MLM and saving the world from MLM falls on the shoulders of each of us individually. And in a new video I have coming out, which is really good, I know I keep teasing this video about the mayor of my city promoting WFG, and I talk about more than that in it too. But in that video I say, it's up to us to educate like our friends and relatives that we care about MLM so that they don't join in the first place. Because if people wouldn't join in the first place, the MLMs wouldn't then have money to lobby the government with. So I think my goal has shifted here. My goal of trying to get the FTC to like reform so that they actually take a stance on MLM and call it what it is and outlaw it, I don't really have hope in that as much anymore. It's definitely going down year after year, because year after year I release a piece that results in hundreds or thousands of people reporting a certain company to the FTC, and still they take no action. 2 years ago, I was doing videos about a certain foreign exchange-based MLM, and I know for a fact that hundreds of people made reports to the FTC because of my posts and videos. People sent me screenshots proving that they had done it with their like reference number or whatever, and the FTC still hasn't done anything about that. And it's been over 2 years now. So I think truly the best thing I can do is just get as big as possible doing this. And as it's what's the term I'm looking for? Inversely correlated. The bigger I get, the higher the risk. The bigger I get, the more drastic the measures will be taken against me. The bigger I get, the more lawsuits. The bigger I get, the more death threats. The bigger I get, the more assassins waiting for me outside of my gym, you know, et cetera, et cetera. So I have a plan, actually, that I will be unveiling in the next month. In about 1 month, I will be unveiling this plan that I have to circumvent most of those assassin-related problems. I think you'll be very surprised. I know you'll be very surprised to hear about it. I'm gonna actually be good for once and not leak what it is that I'm planning so that it's as effective as possible. But definitely stay tuned over this next month and 1 week. I also got to do a Halloween stream. I guess maybe I should have done that tonight, but maybe I'll do it the day before Halloween or the day after, where I'm gonna dress up in a Halloween costume and do a stream, an MLM stream based on that. I think I'm gonna do a Batman, like I'll dress up as Batman, and we'll go through all of my favorite MLM Batman villains, like Robert Hollis, the Joker, Igor Alberts, the Penguin, etc., etc., and we'll do like a rogues gallery type thing. That'll be fun. But yeah, I think the responsibility falls on not just my shoulders, but all of us. I hope there's more anti-MLM channels that continue to pop up and cover such a wide ground. Like, we got one guy who used to be in Herbalife, and he has a channel, and he's got several videos about Herbalife. I would love that. To see that repeated for multiple MLMs and sort of using their own endless chain against them, so to speak, by getting more subscribers and spreading the message further. But yeah, I think that's what it's gonna come down to. I think it's gonna just be on us to keep spreading the good word, so that we see one MLM after another topple until there's only a few. And we might never get to the point where they are outlawed, but hopefully it's just so widely known that they're scams that it's actually just like a niche cult, like Scientology. People talk about Scientology. Scientology has, I think, 20,000 members globally. Let me check. How many members in Scientology? Let's see. And probably this is going to be, okay, Wikipedia. The organization has said that it has 8 to 15 million members. But this figure is known to be an aggrandizing fabrication. Yeah, I mean, there's no fucking way. In 2007, they claimed 3.5 million members. In 2021, this is from Quora, Tony Ortega estimates there are 20,000 active Scientologists. That's where I get the number from. Yeah, there is no way that there is between 8 and 15 million members. No way. 20,000 sounds more reasonable to me. But there are genuinely millions of people that join MLM every single year. So I hope that in the future, there's just maybe it's just Amway in 2050. It's just Amway that is left. And there's 20,000 people in it, and everybody's just like knows that it's like Scientology. Like, okay, yeah, it's a scam. All the rest of them closed down because everyone knows. I hope, anyways. Yeah, we gotta get. Somebody has to be a hero one of these streams and gift a bunch of memberships so that we can get that chat green again and get people really, really riding for the cult. All right, let's see. Kiki says, it's like when they say women are paid less because they choose careers that pay less and not because of sexism. Women are paid less because they choose careers that pay less and not because of sexism. I haven't seen the data for either side of the argument, so I can't weigh in on that intelligently. Thank you for bigging up my Trump impression. Tremendous Trump impression, frankly. It's one of the best. And believe me, I know a lot about impressions. It's so true. It's unbelievable. Thank you. Dress up as Dominic Izzo. Oh, my God. Just like spray paint my hair white and my beard white. That would be fucking hilarious, actually. Be the Stollery Bear from WFG Part 4. That's funny, too. Ooh. That's so funny. Coffeezilla is a friend of mine, actually. If you search Always Marco Coffeezilla, you'll see the episodes we did together of his podcast, The Drip. Shout out to Coffee. Coffeezilla actually helped me with some very helpful notes for the edit of my video that came out in July that you can't find on my channel, but you can find it out in the world, about a company that's in America primarily. Igor would be the penguin. FTC on some mob shit for real. So true. So true. Just a pinstripe suit. I could literally go to Halloween Alley or like, what's that, Party City, and get like the most cliche pinstripe mobster suit. What do they call that? Zoot suit, and spray paint my beard and hair white and be Dominic Izzo. So easy. Let me get an Obama. I got you. Obama. There you go. What up, Immobilizer? Holla at your boy. Is that Ben? Is that Benjamin? Obama amnesty. So true. Mushroom. What's the mushroom about? You might look like Colonel Sanders if you make your hair white. Vest as well. Blue contacts. So fucking funny. It's like 3 days before Halloween right now. Y'all giving me this idea a little bit late. Not gonna lie. You like that? Primarily in America? Don't worry, bro. Don't worry. Soon enough, you're gonna see. That's crazy. Soon enough, you're gonna see the master plan unfold, and you're actually gonna be very shocked. You're gonna be very, very shocked when you see what I announce in probably beginning of December. I'll announce it. Probably beginning of December gives me enough time. But yeah, I know it's the end of October right now, so you have a whole month to wait before I announce this. But I shouldn't even dress it up and say like it's gonna be like. I'm not gonna say anything, but it's gonna be big. All right. Yeah, starting my own MLM. Not quite. Well, this was fun. How long has it been? Almost 2 hours. Do I think that a primal company has paid assassins watching these lives?
Wagwan.
Thank you, Jose Kabuko. Long time no see, bro. Appreciate you. I don't think that anyone has assassins on me. I know for a fact, a measurable, provable, I have the receipts, self-admitted fact that is happening. And I can't comment on that, obviously, and I'm already walking the line. But yeah, I do these streams. I try to do Wednesday and Saturday. I was doing Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday for like 3 years, and then I cut it down to just Saturday. But then I was feeling the itch to do Wednesdays and Saturdays, so I've been doing Wednesday and Saturday. So yeah. What else? Really appreciate you guys. Silica Valley. Where's the... Let me see. Did Silica Valley ever respond to the funny meme I sent her on Instagram? This was like a long time ago now. Bro. Nope, never even seen it. All good. It's all good. Don't even care. I don't even care. It's crazy how I started out with the Trump shit purely as a joke. not ever anticipating how bad of a president Joe Biden would be. Like, I actually cringe. I'm Canadian, by the way. I don't even give a fuck. But, like, I think, and maybe my opinion is tainted by the fact that I'm currently living during this time. Like, maybe if I was alive during Watergate, I would think that Nixon was the worst president. But it's sort of hard for me to not think that Joe Biden is the worst president ever. And I'm not even talking about him as a guy. I mean just overall. Is he not? Crazy. And, like, I don't think Trump is a particularly good person. Y'all know I make fun of him all the time. I also don't think he was a particularly good businessman, you know, utilizing little tax things here and there and, like, write-offs and bankruptcy strategies and whatever. But, like, in terms of presidents, I don't remember shit being as bad when Trump was president as with Biden as president. Like, less crises for sure. I also don't ever recall hearing about an invasion or, like, supporting some war when Trump was president. Like, who was the allies? Who was America at war with when Trump was president? Who was he bombing with drones? I can't think of that off the top of my head. I know what Bush did. I know what Obama was, like, bombing Somalia and shit. I don't recall who Trump was at war with. I also don't recall any American president that ever went to, like, North Korea and made peace with the North Korean leader and, like, eased nuclear tensions. Also, to be fair, he did sort of stoke those tensions by, like, beefing on Twitter with Kim Jong-un. But if I'm just being objective, I know the popular thing is to hate Trump. And again, I don't like Trump. I'm just saying, from a purely presidential standpoint, I'm Canadian, but I don't think Trump was that bad of a president. Again, I'm not saying I think he's good. I'm not saying he treats people fairly. I'm not saying I agree with a lot of the things he said about, you know, minorities and women and things that are very obviously not okay. At the same time, when it comes to just strictly speaking as a president, like as a politician, I actually don't. Yeah. Biden is the worst president? Is Biden the worst president? Thank you, Ethan. When do you plan on doing another multi-level misery? I had to take a few of them down, but I actually really like the idea of me just doing the multi-level misery episodes on live. I don't know if I need to do like a 30-minute or an hour-long episode with individual people on the channel as videos. I really like the live stream call-in format. So I've done 2 of those. So it's basically like, I don't know, how many people did I talk to on each? 5 or 6? So there's basically 12 new interviews that you can watch on the last 2 Wednesday streams. Thank you so much for the dono, Ethan. You joined both Amway and WFG. Call in on next Wednesday. Call in to the next time I do the multi-level misery live. Call in. Silica says, I just looked them out. I'm going to take a second to absorb a Marty Robbins meme, right? Speaking of your costume, number 2, guess is closer to. You went to a prime place in America when you were 18. The second they asked me to come home and talk to my parents, I was like, WTF, right? I talk about that on the last stream. The KT, the kitchen table, is a strategy for getting past the threshold of your front door so that they're not just a salesman at your door. They're now a guest in your home with their shoes off, asking for a glass of water, and thus are able to demand more of your attention and politeness. It's a strategic. I know Hopi Nay didn't like that because she hates Trump. They're both horrific. Biden has always just been a wimpy little handshaker. The Dollop podcast has a really great series about both Trump and Biden. Okay, interesting. Neither are good, but good God, give me Trump any day over Biden. That's what I'm saying, bro. That's what I'm saying. And also, like, again, don't like Trump, but he wasn't a politician prior to getting into the political, the presidential race. I know he was still part of the club. Like, he was chilling with Jeffrey Epstein, and I've seen the videos and all that shit. But also, I don't know, man. I have the same feeling too. Trump over Biden for sure. For sure. Economy has been doing great these past few years, says Rekka K. Where? Between gas and groceries, motherfuckers are like, oh, there's all my money. What are you talking about? Right? He's funny to meme on, but he was by no means a good or neutral president at all. I mean, was any president really good in terms of the decisions they made? That's what I'm saying. Anyways, I shouldn't even be talking about it. Because I know there's people being like, what are you saying? Marco's a Trumper. Marco's a right-wing fascist. So funny. Bush the economy. I gotta add this sound effect to the stream. It's only fair. I only have the one Joe Biden soundbite, which is this one.
Chocolate chip.
He's like eating the ice cream, but I have a few Trump ones.
Obama.
Billions and billions.
Let's indict the motherfucker.
Because you'd be in jail.
But I only have the one Joe Biden one. I need the Joe Biden one. Good for the economy. Economy. Hurts nobody. Surely someone has clipped this. Grows the economy. Benefits everybody. Hurts nobody. Yeah. This one.
Guess what?
Grows the economy. Hit the whisper. Guess what? Grows the economy.
Guess what? Grows the economy. Benefits everybody. Hurts nobody.
Even just the part. Ooh, that'd be a really good thing for when people drop a donation. Boost the economy. Somebody drops a donation, you just hear that, and then you hear, hold on.
What? Grows the economy.
Yeah, you just hear the whisper. You hear,
You're broke! You're fucking poor!
Grows the economy.
that's so fucking funny. Grows the economy. I need that, bro. I need that. Can you please get the describing America in one word clip? Oh yeah, that's a good one too. Or how how would you say your mental focus is? Oh, it's focus. I feel if look, I love that. So funny. Economy. What economy? Hold on. Bars.
Bars.
Boost the economy. Boost the economy. That's so funny. Somebody dropping a donation. Boost the economy. It does boost the economy for real. I've got assassins coming after me, bro. It's so deep. So crazy. Well, that's all I got for this stream, and I have to pee, so I think that's a good place to end it. AlwaysMarcoMerch.com. Use the code GOONS for 20% off your entire order. Hello, QVC. That's me. Inflation is high all over the world due to cheap money, but employment rate has been at an all-time low. Oh, okay, so the economy actually hasn't been doing good? You know? Fucking hell. Joe Byron. Bing bong. Good night, don't let Zach Gagler bite. Oh, unemployment rate has been at an all-time low. It's because everyone's dead. I'm just kidding. All right, y'all. Appreciate you guys. Don't join MLM. Don't do drugs. Appreciate you guys. Peace out.
You're fucking poor!
Push the economy.